Mr. Reynolds. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you all for coming to our council meeting today. We will start off with our invocation, and then we will have the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilmember Cobb. Would you please rise? Most gracious Father, we thank you once again for your grace and your mercy. We thank you for each individual represented in this chamber today. Continue to watch over our men and women that are in uniform, also our first responders, our city staff, our residents, and our city council, as we make decisions that will have an effect on the future of this city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
The Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Before we approve the agenda, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank our staff, our council, as this is my last meeting, for the opportunity to serve as mayor of this great city, and thank the residents for all you do and the great accomplishments we have done together. Thank you. Can we get a motion to approve the agenda? Mayor Pro Tem?
Madam Mayor, I move to approve the agenda as printed.
Councilmember Alvarez?
Mayor, I'll second that motion.
Before, if it's okay with the council, Madam City Attorney, I want to move an agenda. Our item 15, the individual that's the consultant for the library has to catch a plane, and he will be on Zoom. And I would like to move, if it's okay with the council, after Killeen Economic Development. Yeah. So Councilmember Ramon Alvarez, could you rescind your second?
Yes, Mayor, I'll rescind that second.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Madam Mayor, I rescind my motion and restate the motion with that change.
So approve the agenda with item number 15, librarian consultant, move it to after item 1,
Yes.
Killeen Economic Development Corporation update. He made the motion.
I'll second that
Thank
motion.
you. All in favor, yes. All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, council. Presentations. Madam Secretary.
PR 26005, Killeen Economic Development Corporation update.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members, city manager. Just wanted to give you a quick overview on updates within the Killeen Economic Development Corporation. Thank you. So just a quick update on the Wolf Technology Park. As the city's actually going through with its water main upgrades in that area, you might have also seen some trees being cleared at the Wolf Technology site. We have gone ahead and started removing some cedars. as part of our marketing efforts to get the site just a little bit more marketable and ready for actual presentation to potential investors. We've also closed out an RFP for both brokerage and professional services. Those are awarded to the Headwater and Kim Group respectively. We're excited about this partnership, what this means for us and our ability to continue to market the Wolf Technology Park site and actually begin to develop it out for that level of scale for those industries that we're selectively targeting. Another part of our marketing effort, we know we went through a rebranding effort. We're actually going through a new website that is set to launch on Monday, February 23rd. So this kind of gives you a quick outline of what this is going to look like, our homepage, identifying the key industries that we're talking about, sharing the information, our success stories, and some of the key attributes that we find really kind of help coordinate and tell our story as an economic development corporation and as a community at whole. So we're excited about this. So please check it out Monday, 8:30 is the launch. As we kind of continue our marketing efforts and our abilities to continue to attract new businesses to the area, the Clean Economic Development Corporation will be actually participating in a foreign trade mission. This is in tandem with the Korean Texas Forum. This is part of our new membership opportunity, part of this is we will be attending the Interbattery Korea Trade Show. This is probably Asia's premier global battery and energy storage exhibition. It supports our recruitment tied to EV grid systems and some supply chain reshoring that we're seeing a lot in the Korean market to date. Also part of that trade mission, we will be visiting with the U.S. Embassy and the Korea International Trade Association, which is one of the largest Korean chambers of commerce. We've already set up a number of meetings with automobile suppliers, battery manufacturers, SMR manufacturers, aerospace and defense manufacturing, and food industries. We also know we have a number of Korean companies there, and so part of our efforts will actually be meeting with them at their corporate headquarters. And then we've also put together kind of a key list of our recruitment activity for 2026. As mentioned, we will be going to Korea, but in January we did go to the Innovative Logistics and Advanced Technology Summit in Oklahoma that squarely focused on research parks and defense research and development. In April, we'll be attending the MROs America as part of Team Texas and the Governor's Economic Development Team, really highlighting our recruitment of aviation companies and the repaired components. In May, I will be going to Defense Communities National Summit, really kind of tying our obvious ability to recruit more defense industry into our community. We have a consultants forum as well as the Transatlantic Business and Investment Conference. Both are really geared towards site selection and foreign direct investment back into our community. So that's really kind of curtailed to our actual recruitment of FDI and placing an emphasis on that for 2026. And then in October, we'll be going to SemiCon West for semiconductor industries as well. So really gearing towards a lot of those industries that I've mentioned that we're targeting, not only for Wolf Technology Park, but the Killeen Business Park as well. And then just wanted to highlight some of the partnered events working with the Chamber. In January 15th, we were at Southern Roots as part of the Chamber's Third Thursday Mixer. I appreciate all the city council members, members of our community that were able to come out. Obviously, a chance to celebrate what Southern Roots has done in terms of investment in our community, but also the grants that they received from KEDC of $200,000 for their investment, and their canning operations really kind of helped highlight that partnership between downtown revitalization and that growth of primary jobs that the EDC was able to kind of factor in and assist with. Also note on February 19th at 5:30, we will be hosting another Third Thursday Mixer with the Chamber for Workspace USA. This is the development that took place in the Killeen Business Park. And they're going to be looking to celebrate the completion of their Phase 1 light industrial buildings. So please come out. Members of the community, we're happy to have you out there. You don't need a membership, but just come out, learn a little bit more about that development and kind of what it means for our community as a whole. And then just below that, what we're really starting to push here is on May 21st, we're going to create the Forging Central Texas Industry and Growth Summit. This is going to be our first ever inaugural launch for this program. Really what this event does is we want to make sure that we're providing a full-day panel for discussions centered around the industries and topics that we find most important to our community and that will kind of really shape our region's growth going forward. So we're really going to make sure we peel into economic development that's relating at the state level, national level, but also the industries. We want to make sure that we're bringing in partners from Dallas, from Austin to come in and kind of create an event that hasn't really been in this community yet. So we're really kind of seeing this as being one of the pillar programs that we're going to be working with in conjunction with the Chamber, in conjunction with the Fort Hood Region Economic Development Foundation to highlight and bring a level of topics I think that'll kind of really help us in our recruitment efforts. And with that, if there's any questions from council.
Thank you, Tyler. I've had the opportunity to work with you since you've been here, and you stepped up to assist when our president of the KEDC left, and you have done an extraordinary job. And for the city of Killeen, I am so happy what's coming to our city, and I hope we'll be able to announce those things soon. It's just all a matter of working things out behind closed doors with different companies. So I'm excited, and I thank you and your team for everything you have done.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Madam City Secretary.
To confirm, we're moving on to DS 26018. Discussion regarding library strategic planning.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. McNair.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for you all's vote to move this up this afternoon. I and Mr. Garrett Mason certainly appreciate it. So we have Mr. Garrett Mason. He's our consultant. He's online via Zoom. And with that, I'll go ahead and get started on the presentation. Beginning in August of 2025, Killeen Public Library began working with Crucial Strategies Consulting to create the framework for a strategic planning process aimed at delivering a new 5-year strategic plan for 2026 through 2030. And this is the first strategic plan for Killeen Public Library. A strategic plan steering committee comprised of library staff was created to provide guidance, information, and context, as well as to receive and review the various reports provided by Crucial Strategies. The steering committee was an important part of the planning process and provided understanding and behind-the-scenes insight when notable findings or trends were identified. Our engagement included a half-day in-person mission and vision working session. Staff participated in a SWOT analysis, and we had 2 in-person and 1 virtual town hall, and stakeholders identified by the community leadership were also interviewed. The mission that was created was the Killeen Public Library provides access to knowledge and services that engage and support Killeen's continuously evolving community. The vision statement, to be a dynamic library that empowers growth, sparks engagement, and elevates community life. To better understand KPL's level of usage, performance, and available resources, a public library's peer analysis was performed, and these peer libraries were selected by our steering committee. Key findings were KPL serves the 4th largest official service area population, but has the lowest total e-materials and 2nd lowest e-materials per capita. KPL's total collection items per capita was 1.0, and that is well below the group average of 2.8. And KPL has the lowest total operating revenue per capita, which is $11.60 less than the average and $5.93 less than Wichita Falls, the next lowest peer. Again, KPL serves the 4th largest service area, but has the fewest total square footage per capita, which to serve their patrons. And KPL reports the lowest staff expenditures per capita, but with the 5th highest percentage of operating expenditures for staff. That just means that we do spend a big chunk of our operating funds for the library on staff, but we still have a low expenditure on staff per capita. We need more people. Along with the lowest total operating per capita, all of this suggests that KPL is severely lagging in both total operating revenue per capita and staff expenditures. In summary, KPL had the worst overall ranking, ranking number 11th, and was significantly under-resourced compared to the 10 peer libraries. KPL beat the average only at 8 of the 44 measures and ranked 10th or 11th in 18 of the 44 measures. So we developed some planning priorities: communication, public awareness, community engagement and collaboration, programming and community needs, and service capacity and spaces. So KPL will provide clear, consistent, and accessible communication so residents will always know what the library offers and how to access services and what value the library brings to the community. An online presence separate from City of Killeen's official sites will allow for a more dynamic and timely control of KPL's message and visibility to the community. As we were doing the meetings, we did hear back from attendees that they sometimes feel like messaging for Killeen Public Library programs and initiatives gets lost in the proverbial sauce of all of the other important events and communications on the city's social media and website pages. Community engagement and collaboration. We will create and expand partnerships with schools, community organizations, city departments, businesses, and Fort Hood to increase impact and reach residents where they are. Through increased collaborative efforts and the resources provided by KPL, we will become more widely known in the community as a third space. Programming and community needs. KPL will design and deliver programs that respond to the interests and opportunities within our community. And we have a whole list, which is not exhaustive, of the types of members we want to touch. Children, teens, adults, seniors, homeschool families, English second language learners, workforce users, and so on. Through strategic needs-based programming and constantly developing and delivering new innovative programs, KPL will be more widely utilized by a larger segment of the community. And service and capacity. We will strengthen the foundation of our library by including our people, systems, and physical spaces to ensure consistent, high-quality services. This requires exploring opportunities for the development of a new library facility or expansion of current branches to maximize KPL's performance, value, and impact. This is a spatial analysis. What you see in these red zones are hotspots of where our activity originates. So we have a lot of people that are coming to our main branch in downtown, and we have a lot of activity in west, southwest Killeen as well. Regarding our funding, there is a need for increased investment to meet the current and future community needs and expectations. Sustainable funding will support materials, staffing, programming, technology, and facilities that reflect the size of the community here in Killeen. So I am here along with our library staff who took seats in the front row because they're proud of this plan that we've put together to hear back from the council about anything that we may have missed out on that you would like to have included in the final version of this draft. And also, Mr. Garrett Mason from Crucial Strategies is online to answer any technical questions you may have.
Thank you so much. Mr. Mason, good afternoon, sir.
Hello, good afternoon to you guys and to the entire city council.
Yes, sir. Is there anything you want to say to the council or the residents?
I would just say that it became abundantly clear as we rolled into our process that KPL is suffering from a bit of a relevancy problem where they're not, for instance, in the Killeen 2040 plan, Killeen is the public library is not mentioned one time. And so that tells me that they aren't, KPL could be doing more to be seen as a regular and valued partner in the community. But for them to be able to do these things and to be able to provide the resources that a town, a city the size of Killeen needs to offer, where KPL is lacking resources to meet those levels, especially when you compare them to the 10 peer libraries that we looked at. So those are the big things. Making sure that communication and marketing is effective with the library, and that's not been the case because, as Ms. McNair referred to or spoke about, a lot of those announcements get stuck or get kind of lost in the general city announcements on the social media. So strongly recommend giving KPL a standalone website and giving them control over social media that they can put out themselves at the pace and frequency that they need to make sure that everyone in the community is aware of or has a good chance of being aware of the things going on there at KPL. So, but the sort of lack of general collaboration and engagement with other departments, other organizations around Killeen became very apparent, as did the funding and how that funding or lack of funding impacts the performance is really something that I think is important to be aware of and discuss about what that means for the level of service that the council wants from the Killeen Public Library. So.
Thank you, sir, for that update, and for the library staff. Thank you all for what you have contribute to our library. It's very significant. What you do in the community. I go online. You do so many programs. It's truly amazing, not only for our youth, but you also do family activities, and especially during the summer. And Ms. Frazee, she retired, but however, we don't want to play down all the great things and programs that she put in place and this staff worked on. We're just going to take it to another level. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
And the resources in all departments need resources, especially the funding side. And Ms. Tiffany McNair, since you have come on board, you have really dived in to the needs, the wants, but you also dived into what the public want for their libraries and all other civic center, what your departments that you're over. So thank you for that. Anyone else, please raise your hand. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. First question, I got this. Of those 10 or 11, those 10 other library systems, how many of them use a citizen advisory board?
Do you know off the top of your head how many use a citizen advisory board?
I'm unaware of that. I don't know that information.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but I did look at other libraries in Texas that do have either a library board or just an advisory board. So
Okay.
it's common here in the state.
Okay, thanks. And I didn't see it, but I hear the insinuation saying do we need more libraries in the city?
Or more square footage, because
Got it.
it said either develop a new library or expand the square footage
Got it.
of your existing facilities.
And everything that goes with that.
Yes.
Thank you. That answer my other two questions. Thank you.
Okay.
And that went back to, we were talking about the Children's Museum, that we could build on to that until we get a facility to make the museum bigger. So that's a solution, but as we know, everything has to have money. So that's important to know. Thank you.
Can I add a
that,
comment
Pro
really
Tem.
quick, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
So I would also say, in addition to expansion or renovation, one of the other things to really look at, and it's part of our priority list and our SMART metrics in the plan, is making sure that the spaces in KPL are dynamic, and so they can be sort of changed on the fly to meet different needs at different times based off community. So, can we segment or separate the computer lab areas at the branch and at Main so that the librarians can then provide technology training on computers without removing that convenience and need from people in the community that need just general use public computers and internet connectivity. So I would say it's not just necessarily about building a new one or adding renovating. although I think those are good steps in the direction that needs to be pursued, it's also about making the spaces more dynamic, which also makes them more welcoming to a more diverse groups in the community. So I just wanted to add to that.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Solomon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Nair, for the report. In terms of funding, do we have, are there grant opportunities out there for the library?
There are, but they are few and far between. Most communities find creative ways that they can fund a library renovation, or sometimes they consolidate library services and do a larger space in one location. But they are not as prevalent as they used to be, since there's been cuts with arts and library initiatives across the country. So it's not necessarily that we will be able to go and find something that'll give us what we need to do something, I say, spectacular.
Yeah.
But
And so, if there are grants out there, the field is probably very competitive.
yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. During one of the sessions that we attended, there was conversation about, and I think you sort of make the reference to making the space dynamic, but some low-hanging fruit, some things that we could do differently as far as reimagining the space that we have for now while we have it, but then also painting, adding artscapes and getting community involvements, like adopt a building, adopt a library type of program for community folks that are interested in getting involved and sharing their art in that scape. Is that something that we're also considering, keeping it on the table? It was part of some of the
Yes.
community feedback.
We are absolutely looking at everything. We are running ideas. I meet biweekly with the library leadership now. One thing that we will and have discussed is engaging the community for a mural at our main library. It was described as, something you could drive by because it's just really plain, for lack of a better term. So if we can engage a muralist, get us a design, we definitely want to invite the community to come out and help us put something that brings life and attention to the space that we have down there. And I've run some ideas by the city manager and Mr. Reynolds as far as getting creative with some space if we needed to have some meeting space where we could possibly find that, but that's still in the ideation process, so we'll figure that out and what is best for the city.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Can I add something?
Yes, sir,
Yes.
please.
Okay, so I would say grants for the libraries directly, that's also another, can be another hurdle, because libraries a lot of times aren't structured to receive funds like that. That's a lot of reasons why libraries have a foundation, right? So they can fundraise. They're legally categorized and structured in a way that lets them accept donations to fund activities to the library. So there may be, it sounds like Tiffany's already done some research into this, but I think that's something we just need to be aware of, that even if grant opportunities are available for libraries, it may not be able to flow directly to a library because they're not legally set up to be able to access those funds.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are you finished? Sir?
Yes, actually, he just answered my question that I was going to ask in reference to the funding and everything like that. But Ms. McNair, where in Killeen would you think the ideal spot if we was to build a new library?
Well, this is just very premature, and, based off of just this heat map we have in here, the spatial analysis, we are seeing so much activity in Southwest Killeen, and I know that there's a lot of development and housing going on out there. I have a presentation later on that is also in that area, not too far from that area. So that right now is where I would say we need to explore more to see if we can find a suitable site, if we get to that point, but that will be it.
I have no further questions.
Yes, sir, because right now, basically, you wanting us, the libraries we do have, to enhance them. make them look presentable. I like what he said, section off a part where you have computer classes and things like that.
Yes,
Okay.
and be creative with the spaces that we have and what we
already
can
have.
offer until we get to a place where we can add square
Goes back
footage.
to him. To build one. Okay. Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms. McNair, for the presentation. I think everybody's made a lot of good points. I think it's, what can we do in the short term? I think that comes down to these small incremental changes that we've been talking about, making the spaces more efficient, and seeing things like murals and things that we can do, the more low-hanging fruit. I think the overarching concern is obviously a valid concern. Libraries play a huge part in the city's quality of life. But I think it's important for us as taxpayers and residents to also remember that libraries, parks, cemeteries, they're all kind of lumped into this category where they truly don't pay for themselves. They pay for themselves with an inherent value to the community, and it's a quality of life component, and you have to have it for a vibrant community. But when you look at it, just the dollars and cents, the cities are obviously putting more into it than we're getting out for it from a financial standpoint, purely financial standpoint. So again, all the residents that I talk to, whether it's parks or youth centers or libraries, I always want to remind them that we can have all these things, but they come at a price. So, you may see some initiatives in the future, whether it's bond initiatives or tax increases or something that's typically not popular because nobody likes a new tax, nobody likes a new fee. I don't, as much as the next guy, but we have to be realistic and we have to have these honest, transparent conversations and say, hey, look, what really do we want our community to look like? Do we want a vibrant space with these quality of life amenities? Are we willing to pay for those amenities? And so, again, these are just things that I think it's important that we disclose as we go into these conversations up front so everybody is on the same page. But I thank you guys. It's absolutely a definite need. And I think if we can work on those smaller incremental changes now and then see, I know it was mentioned, some libraries have foundations so they can accept contributions from the community. That's another thing that I think would help. At least it would help from the tax-paying standpoint. If there's more private investment involved, it's less of a burden on the public taxpayer. So again, I think a lot of great ideas, and I appreciate the time that y'all put into this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. There are any more questions. Mr. Mason, before you leave, would you like to say anything else, sir?
I would just add to what the last city council member stated about the return, the dollar amount. So I would say a couple of different ways to look at that. Pretty much any government entity, as a general statement, like they're not making money, they operate in the red, right? The VA hospital, the postal service, right? All that operates in the red. It's because the private sector can't effectively deliver that service, right? And I think the small low hanging fruit is really, really important to get some quick wins. We just want to make sure that the library, it serves a really important part in a lot of people's lives, and we want to make sure that we're empowering them as effectively as we can so they can sort of rise, bring the community up. Because one of the things that the libraries, if you do a return on investment analysis, that is what are they saving that they would have to spend money on elsewhere for these families, right? That they're getting for free at the library, and that can be really invaluable to people that are having issues making ends meet and just how are financially strapped. The library can really be a way to uplift those people. And so I get it. We want to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars, right? And we want to make sure we're also doing everything we can to make the community vibrant, community that people want to move to and be a part of. And I think that the public library is a really important aspect of that community fabric that we need to just continue to think about how we go about sort of increasing that impact the library can have through all those different collaborations and partnerships and things like that, and these incremental quick wins to show that the library is sort of in the process of reinventing itself. So that's all I would say. And there is some commentary in the plan metrics about continuing to explore low cost ways to make it more welcoming, more vibrant, and whatnot. So we try to be really careful about making sure that we're sensitive to the budgetary restrictions, and also how do we meet this in an effective and efficient manner. So,
Thank you, sir. Well, Ms. McNair, I thank you. I thank your team. Most important, I thank the residents that gave their
Yes.
input. So thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary.
MN 26008, consider minutes of regular city council meeting of January 20, 2026. RS 26029, consider a memorandum resolution readopting the financial governance policy to include the investment policy.
Thank you. So we'll discuss agenda items 2 through 12 for the February 17, 2026 regular session. No final actions until regular session. Madam City Secretary. Did she read out? Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, City Council. I discussed this item during the February 3rd City Council meeting, and there were no changes. Would you like for me to present the item again?
Council.
All right.
I don't know about them, but we do have our Citizen Academy students here, and they're here to learn about what we do.
Okay.
Could you just do a quick overview without going through all the slides?
Sure. So just for their knowledge, we take this item to City Council every year as written within our financial governance policy, which includes the investment policy. And it has to be adopted annually in accordance with Public Funds Investment Act. So this year, we only had 2 proposed changes. One affects the capitalization threshold, increasing from $5,000 to $10,000. And then the second proposed policy change was adding in items to our senior citizen utility bill assistance program, which are things that we currently do. We're just making sure that they're written within our policy.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Madam, thank you. Any questions? Thank you. Madam Secretary.
RS 26030, consider a memorandum resolution authorizing the city manager to sign an agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation Aviation Division for the administration of a Federal Aviation Administration Airport Infrastructure Grant for the design, build, box hangars project at Skylark Field. The next 2 items will be presented by Jared Provost, so I will read those as well.
Yes, ma'am.
RS 26031, consider a memorandum resolution approving a ground lease agreement at Skylark Field Airport with RD Aviation LLC. And RS 26032, consider a memorandum resolution authorizing an agreement and easement with Encore Electric Delivery Company LLC to provide power to the commercial office building at Killeen Regional Airport.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Provost.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and City Council. So before you is the agreement with TxDOT for the hangar design build box hangars at Skylark Field. The bipartisan infrastructure bill was signed into law November 15th, 21, provides federal aviation with $15 billion in airport infrastructure grants over a 5-year period, which this is the last year of that bill, for projects under existing airport improvement program and passenger facility charge criteria. The funding can be invested in runways, taxiways, safety and sustainable projects, terminals, airport transit connections, and roadway projects. Aviation submitted a bill AIG application to TxDOT Aviation Division requesting $178,750 to complete the construction and site improvements of 2 additional box hangar units at Skylark Field. This will finish out the existing 10-unit complex. This project continues a previous hangar initiative originally funded through the partnership between TxDOT and the city. Limited funding at the time left 2 hangar bays unfinished with an external wall exposed. This bill, AIG funding, will be combined with the aviation CIP funds to complete the project, and Skylark Field is a general aviation airport under the FAA State Block Grant Program. TxDOT Aviation Division will administer the grant on behalf of the FAA, and TxDOT requires the City Council to approve a resolution authorizing a designated individual to execute the grant agreement and relatable documents. And our recommendations for City Council to approve the resolution authorizing the city manager to execute any and all requirement documents, including amendments pertaining to the Federal Aviation Airport Infrastructure Grant being administered by TxDOT.
Are there any questions? Thank you. Next.
The next item before you is a ground lease agreement with RD Aviation for Skylark Field. And staff has negotiated a ground lease agreement with RD Aviation at Skylark Field. RD Aviation plans to construct one large hangar, 180 square feet by 300 square feet for aviation-related activities. The initial term of the lease is 30 years unless terminated sooner or extended through renewal. The lease agreement provides revenue that the tenant will pay for the land lease after hangar completion. Staff has negotiated a ground lease rate of 4 cents per square foot for the first 36 months, 5 cents per square foot for months 37 through 59, and 5 cents per square foot beginning on month 60 with a CPI increase every second year throughout the remainder of the initial term or the entirety of the renewal term. And this is the location. So if you remember, it's the old original terminal building at Skylark Field in the 1960s. That's currently being demolished, and RD Aviation plans to build the 180 by 300 square foot building at that location site. The benefits will be increased capacity and revenue, attracting diverse users of the airport, enhance the airport infrastructure, economic growth, increased property value, community and business services, and marketing and prestige. We recommend the City Council approve the lease agreement with RD Aviation and authorize the city manager to designate to execute the same, as well as any and all amendments and lease actions allowed per federal, state, and local law.
Thank you on that one. This is a win-win.
Yes, ma'am.
I am so excited to get that infrastructure put in there, and it will really help the planes coming in, the private planes, because y'all have done an excellent job at Skylark, and this is just going to enhance it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Great job. Any questions from council? Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mayor. Do we have any current tenants planning to go in there that can be reported?
Well, so RD Aviation is actually going to be the tenant moving in there.
They're
He
the primary
currently
one.
has the one large hangar, and he's expanding to build this additional hangar. He's a charter service, and so he'll be bringing additional King Airs to provide charter services and enhance the airport.
Okay, so, got it. Thank you.
So if you wanna rent a plane, you can. Just make sure I get a seat. That's all. Thank you, sir, so much. Next.
And the last item I have before you is the agreement and easement with Encore Electric Delivery Company. On May 26, City Council approved an agreement with Synergy Commercial Construction for a design-build project to construct a new 9,000 square foot office building at the Killeen Regional Airport. As a part of the construction, electrical service is required to power the commercial office building. To do so, Encore requires an easement to install underground electrical cables, a transformer, and a meter. Encore requires the attached agreement and easement to install the transformer, associated cables, and meter to provide electrical service. A one-time facilities extension agreement fee is required and has already been paid for by Synergy Construction. And before you is a general location of where the easement will go on the site location. And staff recommends that the City Council authorize the city manager or designee to execute an agreement and easement with Encore Electric Delivery Company, LLC, to provide power for the commercial office building at the Killeen Regional Airport and authorize the city manager or designee to execute all amendments and exchange orders within the amount set by state and federal and local law.
Thank you. There
Yes,
are no
ma'am.
questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Secretary.
The next three items will be presented by Chief Kabinski. RS 26033, consider a memorandum resolution approving an interlocal agreement between Temple College and Killeen Fire Department. RS 26034, consider a memorandum resolution approving an interlocal agreement between Central Texas College and Killeen Fire Department. And RS 26035, consider a memorandum resolution authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Martinez Architects LP for professional A&E design and management services for construction of Killeen Fire Department Fire Station Number 5 in the amount of $810,000.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Chief.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, City Manager. These first two items are interlocal agreements to allow our students to, who attend different schools, either the Temple or Central Texas College paramedic or EMT programs, to do the ride-along time. So if it's okay with you, the slides are exactly the same. The names are just changed. We'll just go through one slide deck. This interlocal agreement between Killeen Fire Department and Temple College or Central Texas College allows our EMTBs, our advanced EMTs and paramedic students to participate in their ride-outs in the field. They have certain clinical time that they have to spend in the back of an ambulance with hands-on patient care. It includes coverage on the facility authority, supervision, and liability indemnification clauses for the city. It also outlines the college's responsibility for student status verifications, reporting. It also addresses FERPA, HIPAA compliant confidentiality requirements, things like that. The agreement automatically renews annually for not more than 5 years, and there's no cost to the city of Killeen. As a matter of fact, I would say that we reap the benefits of potential future firefighters and EMTs who would be riding along, because these are not typically our employees. These are people who go to those two colleges and are exploring the field. Again, improved recruitment, enhanced skill retention, increases manpower and operational efficiency, because they are helping our paramedics or EMTs in the back of an ambulance because they do hands-on. Most importantly, it strengthens our interagency relationship and our healthcare partnerships, as well as better community service. And our recommendation is to approve both of the MOUs that they currently were letters of understanding. We've been advised by legal that we are much more suited to go into an MOU with both of these colleges. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief. I love our interlocal agreements and the partnerships with throughout Central Texas. You and Chief Kabinski and Lopez, you both do an excellent job with that, and all our executive director. And thank our legal team for assisting you with that. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Chief. The next one is yours, too.
For our team up top, we're going to pass over this one because it's the same slide with just a different name, and we'll move on to Fire Station 5. Okay, this is an exciting one as progress continues in our great city. FY26 CIP includes our funding for the design and construction of a new facility for Fire Station 5. Council did approve the CIP funds in the amount of $9 million in total for the design and construction of that new fire station. And the current station is located approximately a quarter mile west of this current location. It's reached the end of its serviceable life. That station was built in 1969 and is still operating today as a frontline fire station. We went previously out to RFQ for the Fire Station 4 EOC and Support Services project. That resulted in 10 firms submitting their proposals. They were reviewed and considered by our city staff. And out of that process, Martinez Architects was selected. As you all know, they worked through that project with us, and their performance was, in my opinion, in my experience, not even an opinion, flawless. They did a great job, kept our project on time, on budget, and based on that alone, they were above expectations. As you take a look here, the site plan, you've already approved the ability to acquire and purchase the land from KISD of the former Bel Air Middle School or Elementary School. We will be working on completing that purchase process, but that takes about 45 to 60 days. We don't want to wait to start this process while we do the land purchase. We can do both of these simultaneously. So the future site you'll see is in the open land, and then the area where the school is actually constructed, that'll eventually be demolished and rezoned in some way. And so it's our recommendation today that you approve the design agreement in the amount of $810,000 with Martinez Architects. I'm here
Thank
for any
you,
questions.
Chief Kabinski, me and you had several conversations about this, and I'm really excited about Station 5. But would you please explain, and I know we talked about this, explain why it's important, the safety, the Station 5 that they're already in, and also we discussed why we have to do it now because of the cost of material. Can you go more in detail for the residents and the council about our conversation?
Yes. So first is the Fire Station 5 that currently exists on Jasper Road. Again, built in 1969. It was built for the fire service of 1969, which were smaller fire engines, smaller ambulances. The bays in and of itself are at their capacity for the current equipment that we use, and they also back into the station, which is in and of itself something we've tried to get away from in the fire service. We want the pull-through bays. Additionally, the kitchen and the day room are in the exact same area. There is really no ability for the firefighters to get some ability to step away or have some study time for our paramedic students who are working through their program. And the bunk room was created for pretty much a military-type setting. And let's be honest, in 1969, it was a male-dominated workforce in the fire service, so it was just all open bunk rooms. There is no privacy in that building for any of the firefighters currently. Station officer quarters are not present, no fitness facilities, and most importantly, the bays are right next to the kitchen and the day room, so those vehicles with the diesel exhaust, the bunker gear that has to be decontaminated because of the carcinogens are on there, are only separated by a single door that, let's face it, its ability to be airtight is in doubt. So a lot of things that building, the city has gotten a great deal. It's lasted a very long time, since 1969. But it is time for a new facility that is current with cancer reduction exposures for our firefighters, better living conditions where they have individual bunk rooms with a little bit of privacy, fitness areas so that they can be physically ready, fit to perform their duties. So that would be the reason of needing to get into a newly constructed building. Reason why we can't really use the site there, it backs up to communications towers. Well, those communications towers are on lease agreements, so we can't just add on to the back or add to the side. That lot size is just too restrictive. What was the second question, Mayor? I got pretty excited about that first one.
Yeah, the material, the cost, if we purchase it now compared to later.
Thank you, Mayor. And so costs go up approximately 1/4 to 0.5% per month on what estimates are from the previous month for construction and materials. It varies, but we have seen a slowing since the Station 4 project, but it has not come to a stop. So every month that we wait is another month that we see an increased cost of the overall project by anywhere from 1/4 to 0.5% in total, which we know those numbers add up. So definitely important for us to keep the ball rolling in both lanes while the purchase is being done. The design team comes in, they start working with our team, getting the design put out there so that we can go to bid as soon as possible for the actual construction.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to visit Station 5 just to check on everybody that was there. And one of the unique things I say about this after visit the fire station, we ask them every day to put their lives on the line. And those conditions, they gotta love the job because that is a condition I would not want to live in, knowing that I'm gonna be there for 72 hours to live. But they get up and they continue to move forward. So I'm truly thankful for our Fire Station 5 staff. Thank you, Chief. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam City Secretary.
RS 26036, consider a memorandum resolution approving staff's determination that the conditional use permit for the property located at 308 East Avenue D is terminated.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Mesher.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. This item is a resolution regarding the property located, the conditional use permit for the property located at 308 East Avenue D. That CUP was approved by council in May of 2013 to allow for use of the property as a bar. The property is currently owned by Kinesiology LLC and is utilized as a photography studio. The certificate of occupancy for that business was issued in June of 2023. According to our Code of Ordinances, a conditional use permit is terminated if the building or premises is not put to the permitted use for a period of 1 year or more, or if the permitted use ceases for any 1 year period. So in this case, the property has not been used as a bar since at least June of 2023. It's been used as a photography studio. So staff is of the determination that the CUP is terminated. Also, according to our code, staff's determination that a CUP is terminated is subject to review by the council. That section states that whenever the Planning and Development Director makes a determination as to whether an event of termination has occurred, he or she shall promptly make and forward a written report to the council describing the facts surrounding such determination and the reasons for the determination. So, again, based on this property having been used as a photography studio since 2023, we are of the determination that an event of termination has occurred in the CUP, allowing for use of the property as a bar is void and shall have no further effect. Notice was sent to the property owner in accordance with our code on January 9th of 2026, so she is aware of this. And we are recommending that council approve the memorandum of resolution approving staff's determination that the CUP for the property at 308 East Avenue D is terminated. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
So the conditional use of permit, what I'm understanding, we terminated it for this particular.
So it's chapter 31, subsection 31456,
Yes.
basically says that if a conditional use permit is approved and that use that was approved in the CUP goes away for a period of 1 year or more, it's automatically considered terminated. And so what we have to do is, per the code, we have to bring this item to you to effectively approve that termination of the CUP.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mayor. With some of the occupation of downtown and even across the city, we'll be seeing more of these.
Yes, sir. This is, for right now, the only one in the downtown area that we believe needs to be terminated. But there are a couple of others across the city that will also be coming forward to you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Councilmember Everett? Thank you. Madam Secretary.
RS 26037, consider a memorandum resolution supporting for the low-income housing tax credit application to Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for RST The Madeline LP.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor,
Ms.
Council.
McNair. Oh,
I know you're expecting Ms. McNair. She had to step out on an emergency.
oh, I'm
So,
sorry.
uh,
I'm so sorry. I wasn't looking up. Mr. Reynolds, good afternoon, sir. I'm
Good
sorry.
afternoon.
Hey, speak up a little quicker next time.
absolutely.
No, that's me.
All right.
Good afternoon, sir.
This is for the low-income housing tax credit request for support for the Madeline LLP. And I have Mr. Mr. Clifton Phillips is here with me from the development, from Roundstone Development, if you have any questions for him as well. All right. All right, a little background. Low-income housing credit program was created by the Tax Reform Act of 1986. It is a federally funded financing program to develop affordable rental housing, leveraging private capital towards development of affordable rental housing for low and moderate income households. An annual tax credit is granted in exchange for equity in the development of affordable housing. Each state receives a per capita allocation, and the states then allocate the tax credits based on each state's created qualified allocation plan. Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs administers the program on behalf of the state of Texas. Each development has a minimum of 15-year tax credit compliance period. Units must remain affordable to persons with incomes at or below 6% of the area median income. Current inventory of low-income housing tax credit communities are as follows. Village Creek, all the way down to the last one we just did was Avante Legacy. And this is what the number of units in each one of those are. The property that we're proposing here tonight is going to be developing 80 units off of Desert Willow. A proposed tax credit development in Killeen. As I stated before, the development name is Madeline LP. The location is 5100 block of Desert Willow. The population served is going to be for seniors only. It's going to be 62 or older. It's going to be 80 units, and the projected cost of the development is going to be a little over $19 million. As stated before, it's going to be 8 apartment homes providing senior housing, single 3-story building on 4.5 acres, centralized club housing, park line, amenities for outdoor engagement, perimeter fencing, neighbor-friendly site layout, and close to Advent Health grocery stores there, pharmacy, coffee, and other amenities are there on Clear Creek within walking distance for our senior community that would be living in these quarters. The average cost for these quarters for a 1-bedroom is going to be about $760 a month, and for a 2-bedroom is projected to be around a little over $900 a month. This is a site layout for the location over off of Desert Willow. Here's a conceptual plan for what the site will look like once it's built out. The actual 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom designs. If you've been into Avante, it's kind of the same footprint layout. These are some of the standard features, the unit amenities, and the common amenities that would be there. Common amenities are going to be centralized clubhouse, community room, business center, fitness center, arts and activities room, dog washing park, and a pool. Proposed tax credit development in Killeen. Proposed development has requested a resolution of support with a $500 investment from the city via a waiver of development and permit fees to submit a highly competitive proposal for the award. So basically, if they get a letter of support from council, it makes their application that much stronger as other people would be submitting for the same application. Proposed development will pay all applicable property taxes for this property. We have a couple alternatives here. We can provide a letter of support, which is what we're requesting here tonight. We can provide a resolution of no objection with fee waiver, provide a resolution with no objection without fee waiver, or neither support the object to the request for the resolution. And staff is recommending that the city council affirms a resolution of support with fee waiver in the amount of $500 for the proposed Madeline LP Affordable Housing Development for submission of this application. If submitted, they should find out roughly around July if they got the award or not. If they get the award, when they go through design and all those processes, they look at actually getting started sometime early next spring.
Yes, sir.
And I do have Mr. Clifford Phillips here if anybody wanted to ask him any questions.
Yes, sir. Mr. Clifford.
Clifton, I'm sorry.
You said Clifton?
I said Clifford initially, but it's Clifton.
Oh, so you did, okay. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, please. This is the first time you're building in Killeen?
Yes, Mayor. This is the first time.
Sir?
Yes, it is the first time we've built in
First time.
Killeen.
Anything you would like to say?
No, I'm here to answer questions. I think it's a great project. I've met with Mr. Cagle and also with Commissioner Kendrick before the meeting just to lay out what we're looking at. I think the location is wonderful for what we're proposing because it would be a transition zone between the single-family and duplexes to the east and the commercial on the west. So it would kind of step up. We did design on the conceptual site plan that you saw, tried to push the housing closer to the Today car wash to get it away so that the housing wouldn't be looking on the surrounding neighborhood. But again, it would provide some density housing close to the Walmart, close to other amenities for the seniors, and then still in proximity to the senior center would be about 4.5 miles away, but a lot of amenities on Clear Creek Road.
Yes, sir. I am for senior low-income housing, as I am 2 years away from it. And the location is excellent on Clear Creek, because our bus do come through there for transportation. And I love the location you have selected. It's so convenient. But I just wanted to see if you had anything to say to the council. That's why I asked you to speak. But I am for that, for our senior citizen population, because we're growing. We're growing. All right, anyone else? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you so much.
Madam Secretary.
OR 26005, consider an ordinance ordering the May 2nd, 2026 special election for the purpose of electing a council member for District 2.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council. I'll give Francisco a minute to get this popped up. All right. Oh. Okay, ready to go?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your patience. On Friday, January 30th, District 2 Councilmember Joseph Solomon resigned his position. The resignation took effect on Saturday, February 7th, 2026, creating a vacancy for the District 2 seat. The Texas Election Code, Chapter 201, provides for the ordering of an election to fill a vacancy. If a vacancy in office is to be filled by special election, the election shall be ordered as soon as practicable after the vacancy occurs. Filing for the District 2 vacancy will begin tomorrow, February 18th, and continue through March 3rd by 5 p.m. A webpage has been created on the city's website with information concerning the special election. To note, there is a different candidacy application required to file for the special election seat. Early voting dates and times are the same as the general election, as well as Election Day on Saturday, May 2nd. The early voting polling locations are also the same as the general election. Election Day locations are precinct-specific for District 2. There are 2 polling locations for the May 2nd, or for May 2nd within the district. Again, here is a polling locations map for early voting and Election Day. The same voting equipment will be utilized as a general election. And staff recommends that City Council approve the ordinance calling the special election for May 2nd, and I am available to answer any questions you may have.
No, ma'am, they don't have any questions for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize for that. We will now do citizen comments. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Mesher, was you?
No, you're right. Got jumped the gun. Sorry.
No problem. We have citizen comments. Mr. Michael Fornino. Good afternoon, sir. You have 30 minutes.
With regard to the vacancy that was just discussed, I would like from the city attorney a for-record answer as to how we can be voting tonight for appointing a special election for a vacant seat that clearly is not vacant, yet we have another council member who is complying with city charter. How can we have compliance and conflict all in the same token? I mean, this is Schrodinger's government at this point. We've got two different states of being that cannot possibly exist at the same time. I mean, this is doing nothing but confusing the constituents, regardless of who they intend to vote for or not to vote for. I mean, this needs to be sorted out here and now. With regard to Killeen economic development, I listened to the man again. Recruiting for companies in Korea, et cetera, et cetera. Every time KEDC gets up here, I hear nothing but job opportunities for other companies that bring their employees to town and create no jobs for Killeen or its citizens, or it's a foreign entity. Where are the jobs for the citizens in Killeen? With all of the technical programs at CTC and for KISD, these kids are graduating, coming out with top flight skills and certifications that they can't use here. If we recruit companies from Korea, okay, I happen to know a little bit about the Asian culture, and generally speaking, like with Dongjin Chemical, those folks, they're sending most of their spare cash back home. It's not being spent here. It's not being invested here. It might be of an economic value to the tax rolls a little bit, but where are the jobs for people in Killeen? All we do is build houses, houses, houses. How many years do I and others have to say this over and over and over? Where are the opportunities for the people who live here? We're in no danger of a Rolex dealership, a Cadillac dealership, an Ethan Allen furniture outlet springing up in Killeen because people can't spend what they cannot and do not earn. How about we stop throwing good money after bad at KEDC with promises, we're talking to these people and talking to those folks about this and that, but we can't tell you what. Half their budget and give it to another entity that actually wants to bring in viable jobs, other than car washes, other than chicken joints, and businesses that employ 2.5 people. That's where the economic growth is going to come from. And the coffers will be filled with sales tax. Small step backward for a larger one forward. For crying out loud, the people in this town have no economic development. Go out on I-14 or I-35 in the morning, you'll see more traffic leaving Killeen because that's where the jobs are than you will see people coming back into Killeen. That's a fact. That's not an exaggeration. This KDC nonsense has gone on long enough, far enough, and I'm tired of paying for it.
Citizen comments are closed. Who would like to speak? Councilman Solomon?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to, that's a good point. Would like to request the city attorney to address that, please, what the citizen had requested.
Yes,
What
sir.
is the question?
And regarding the holdover
Okay, yes, sir.
situation. Could you clarify that, ma'am, please?
Yes, I will. Thank you very much. Regarding the question about how we can be calling a district to a special election, to hold an election to fill the vacancy for District 2 while District 2 council member is in holdover status. So state law provides that when a public official resigns, state law provides for when that vacancy occurs. And in the case of a council member here, the vacancy occurs on the earliest of when council accepts that resignation or 8 days later. In this case, it was 8 days later, creating the vacancy. State law also provides that a public official holds over, continuing to fill their position for all purposes until their successor is qualified. And in this case, the qualification will happen after the special election and the person that takes the District 2 seat is sworn in. So the only way a council member can hold over is, in fact, if the person is in fact, if the position is vacant. So the vacancy and the holdover provisions are aligned, and that is how the state law is meant to, what is meant to do.
Much.
So that's District 2, but the at-large council members can stay also.
Yes, all public officials hold over, per the state constitution, all public officials can hold over for all purposes until their successor is qualified. So for council members, that's when they're either appointed or elected until the successor is either appointed or elected. In this case, we have more than one vacancy, and so that there has to be an election rather than appointment in this case. It's different for the mayor.
Right.
because
And the council did not appoint to District 2.
That's correct.
That's
The
right,
council
they
has
did
not
not
appointed.
appoint. Councilmember Solomon.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. One other thing, thank you for clearing that up. So it's similar to the holdover, which we'll have a holdover, actually, all the council, District 2 will be held over until November 2027.
It's
But
the same holdover provision.
It's
It
the
is.
same principle.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in reference to the charter does not state that, in which would be good for us to line that up with the state's provision.
I believe that the charter needs to be read in, the charter doesn't have to say exactly what state law already says.
Okay.
I mean, you have to read the charter and state law together to understand how the laws work. However, having that being said, in charter review, they will be reviewing that section, and there will likely, there may be a recommendation from the charter review committee to council to put something on the ballot to clarify that language and to refer to state law, because the charter isn't going to trump state law with regard to
So what you're
holdovers and
stating, the
vacancies.
state law and the charter goes together,
Read it together,
and
yes.
everything is legal.
Yes, the holding over is state constitutional provision.
And you did say the state trumped the charter.
If there was a conflict, the state would trump the charter, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
But in this case, I think you read them together
Yes,
to
ma'am.
understand how it works.
Councilmember Kendrick?
I have no question because she just answered my question to the fullest.
Sir?
In reference to the state law trumping the city charter, meaning we have to follow the state law when we have those vacancies, and there is nothing that's being done that's illegal. It's being done according to the law.
Right. And to be clear, resigning isn't the same as creating a vacancy. So the charter could still say resign immediately, but when you read in what state law says, when you resign, regardless of whether it's supposed to meet immediately or at some other point in the future, the vacancy occurs on the earliest of when council accepts the resignation or 8 days. So resignation leads to a vacancy, but they aren't the same thing.
Any more questions? And you're welcome. In all fairness to our residents, and Mr. Fernino and our other residents, this is our first time going through this situation. So for them to be some concern or questions, I would expect that it would be normal for that to happen, because this has not happened before. So for him to ask is not wrong. It's just giving us the opportunity, because I asked the question when it happened, I said, we can't do that. But then I found out that's not true. You can. And I think everybody on this council questioned it, because we have never done that before. So in all fairness to him and our residents to ask questions on it, I'm shocked that more people are not asking questions on it. You have the same people on Facebook, the same over and over again attacking, but the facts is what it is, and I'm glad you answered that question. And Mr. Fernino, I'm glad that you asked that question, because we cannot reiterate that enough for residents to feel comfortable with the change that just happened, that gives the council the choice, the ones that have resigned, to hold over until the May 2nd election. All right. With that being said, we'll go right into our regular session. Madam Secretary, consent agenda.
MN 26008, RS 26029, RS 26030, RS 26031, RS 26032, RS 26033, RS 26034, RS 26035, RS 26036, RS 26037, and OR 26005. The caption of the ordinance reads, "An ordinance ordering the holding of an election in the city of Killeen, Texas, for the purpose of electing a council member for District 2, providing for the filing of written application to have their names printed on the official ballot, specifying that the provisions of the special election laws shall control all questions pertaining to such election, designating the polling locations, prescribing the contents of the official ballot, providing for election worker compensation, and providing for posting and publication of notice of election, and containing miscellaneous provisions."
Thank you. Councilmember Alvarez.
Mayor, I'd move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you. Councilmember Solomon.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, yes. All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. Madam Secretary, discussion items whenever you're ready.
DS 26016, update regarding vehicle wash facility annual certification program.
Thank you. Mrs. Mesher, you're back.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
This item is an update regarding the car wash certification program. As you know, in March of '24, council adopted a water conservation ordinance, which amended Chapter 8 to require annual certification of all car wash facilities in Killeen. The intent of the program is to establish minimum standards for best water use practices and enforce facility maintenance requirements for new and existing car washes. The ordinance identifies 3 types of car wash facilities: conveyor systems, in-bay automatic systems, and self-service car washes. So this is an example of a conveyor system, an in-bay automatic system, and self-service. Under the ordinance, all new conveyor and in-bay automatic car washes must be equipped with and utilize a water recycling system that reuses at least 50% of the water from the previous rinse in subsequent washes. And any existing conveyor or in-bay automatic car wash that is equipped with a water recycling system must use the recycling system and reuse a minimum of 50% of the water from the previous rinse in subsequent washes. New conveyor systems shall not use more than 35 gallons of water per vehicle. New in-bay automatic car washes shall use no more than 45 gallons per vehicle, and new self-service car washes must utilize a positive shut-off device with a flow rate of no more than 3 gallons of water per minute. New and existing car wash owners shall ensure that no water leaks are present in the vehicle washing equipment, and any person in violation of these requirements is subject to a fine as provided by the Code of Ordinances, and each day the violation continues constitutes a separate offense. Excuse me. So, under the ordinance, car wash facilities are responsible for using the water recycling system as it's designed, maintaining records demonstrating the use of water recycling systems, making facilities available for inspection when needed, hiring a licensed plumbing inspector or licensed plumber to evaluate and inspect the wash equipment at least annually, and following and implementing water conservation methods and practices. The City of Killeen's code enforcement responsibilities include providing program education and public awareness, implementing the annual certification program, verifying completed evaluation forms and tracking compliance plans, maintaining program efforts and compliance records, coordinating with BPAT regarding backflow prevention and grit trap waste management, and taking enforcement action when necessary. So in program year 24, city staff performed on-site visits to all car washes to educate business owners of the new requirements, and all facilities complied in 2024. In 2025, we implemented the second year of the program, notifying all car washes to renew their annual certification. We identified 28 active car wash facilities in Killeen. This number is a little bit outdated. As of today, 25 are in compliance. One has repairs in process, and only 2 are non-compliant today. Code enforcement cases for the 2 non-compliant car washes have been opened. So on this map, you can see that we're indicating 4 facilities that are not in compliance. Of those, since this presentation was created, 2 have come into compliance. So there are just 2 that we have open code enforcement cases on, and 1 has repairs in process. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. So to make it clear, the city of Killeen, do we have any control on how many car washes are built in the city? Would you please say that loud?
No, ma'am. Car washes are permitted by right in most any commercial zoning district, and so we don't have any ability to limit the number of car washes, no, ma'am.
In restaurants and food chains, correct?
Uses are permitted by right, and so if somebody has a property that's zoned and allows for a car wash, they are entitled to build a car wash in that
In
location.
restaurants, if it's zoned for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And gas
just-
stations and
Yes,
all the things.
That's the new one, gas stations. Yes, ma'am. All right, with that being said, yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation. In your opinion, so far, are there any changes that we need to make, or is this working?
No, I think it's working well. Again, we're just, essentially what we're doing is we're asking that each car wash facility provide an inspection report. So we have a standard form that they fill out where they hire a plumber to inspect their facility and ensure that there are no leaks and that it meets our code requirements, and then they're signing off on it annually. So we're able to make sure that it's being enforced, and it seems to be working. And we're getting, I would say, a pretty good rate of compliance.
Thank you.
That is it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. No, ma'am, that's it. Madam Secretary.
DS 26017, discuss renaming of street in honor of Betty Ann McLaurin.
Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Mesher.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item is a discussion regarding the street renaming process. As you'll recall, on January 6th, Council approved a request for a future agenda item to discuss co-naming a street in the downtown area to honor the legacy of Mrs. Betty Ann McLaurin. In March of 2023, the council adopted a renaming policy for city facilities and streets. Section 6-1, subsection C of the renaming policy provides that the renaming of a city street may be considered if an individual has made exceptional contributions to the city. The policy further provides that applications for a street name change may be considered to honor a person, place, institution, group, entity, event, or similar subject. So what we're proposing tonight is to co-name North 8th Street as Betty Ann McLaurin Memorial Boulevard. So you can see here, this is a sample of what the proposed street sign could look like, with North 8th Street keeping the name of the street, and then Betty Ann McLaurin Memorial Boulevard would be the co-name. So the estimated cost to add a co-name to 8th Street from Veterans Memorial Boulevard to Rancier is $1,758. And staff recommends that council provide a motion of direction for staff to add a co-name to a street in the downtown area in honor of Mrs. Betty Ann McLaurin. And Mr. McLaurin has actually suggested that the co-naming be of 8th Street from VMB to Rancier.
Can I get a motion of direction, Councilmember Alvarez?
Mayor, I'd make that motion of direction to move forward with the naming of the street for Betty Ann McLaurin.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Mayor, I second the motion.
Any discussions? Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Just on behalf of Mr. McLaurin's family, I just want to tell council, thank you so much for that consideration. And for the public, the reason why they chose 8th Street is because their location of their Boys and Girls Club that they've donated to the community is also on 8th Street, and part of their commitment to that area. So just thank you guys for your consideration.
Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion of direction? Yes, all opposed, no. Motion of direction carries. Well, this will be my last time I hit this gavel. I want to thank the Citizen Academy students for taking out your busy schedule, which is a requirement. But thank you for being here, and thank you for giving back to the city. Can I get a motion to adjourn? I'm sorry, Councilwoman, I apologize. Councilwoman Cobb, did you have something to say?
I did. I have been mighty quiet today, and I do have something to say. On behalf of this being your last day here, I want to tell you that it's been very nice working with you.
Yes, ma'am.
And we're grateful to give time and to give service to people in our community. So from this chair, and I'm sure from all the council men and
Yes,
women,
ma'am.
thank you for being a great leader. Thank you for helping leading our staff and our city.
Yes, ma'am.
Napoleon says, a leader is a dealer in hope.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so it's not so much of being a leadership of things and people, but
Yes,
being
ma'am.
of good hope. Honoring Black History Month this month, Jesse Jackson passed away,
Yes, ma'am.
and he talked about hope in many of his speeches.
Yes, ma'am.
So thank you for the hope that you've given our city and the job you've done.
Thank you. It's my honor. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem.
Madam Mayor, with the motion to adjourn, I will add with the round of applause from the council for your service to the council.
Y'all too kind. Thank you. Thank you. It is my honor. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. It has been my honor. Thank you. So with that being said, can I get a motion to
We
adjourn?
just need a second now.
Is there a second? All right, meeting adjourned.